And we are live.
I didn't know we were going live already, though.
We're watching Vice President Pence wrap up the Wednesday night edition of the RNC.
I didn't know we were going live right now. I thought we were going to wait till he was done and wait a couple of minutes after he was done. But I guess not. All right. Hey, guys. They want to raise the volume. Pence.
Their agenda is based on government control.
Is the chat linked on Facebook already?
Yeah, hold on. It is.
Where President Trump cut taxes, Joe Biden wants to raise taxes by nearly $4 trillion. Where this president achieved energy independence for the United States, Joe Biden would abolish fossil fuels, end fracking, and impose a regime of climate change regulations that would drastically increase the cost of living for working families. Where we fought for free and fair trade, and this president stood up to China and ended the era of economic surrender, Joe Biden has been a cheerleader for communist China. He wants to repeal all the tariffs that are leveling the playing field for American workers. And he actually criticized President Trump for suspending all travel to China at the outset of this pandemic.
I got Cruz right now.
Hey, Cruz.
Hey. Lawyers in healthcare for illegal immigrants. President Trump, he secured our border and built nearly 300 miles of that border wall. Joe Biden wants to end school choice. President Trump believes that every parent would have the right to choose where their children go to school, regardless of their income or area code. President Trump has stood without apology the sanctity of human life every day of this administration. Joe Biden, he supports taxpayer funding abortion right up to the moment. When you consider their agenda, it's clear. Joe Biden is nothing more than a Trojan horse for the radical left. The situation in this election has never been clearer. Things have never been. Last week, Joe Biden said democracy's on the ballot. And the truth is, our economic recovery is on the ballot. Law and order are on the ballot. But so are things far more fundamental and foundational to our country. In this election, it's not so much whether America will be more conservative or more liberal, more Republican or more Democrat. The choice in this election is whether America remains America.
Yep.
It's whether we will leave to our children and our grandchildren a country grounded in our highest ideals of freedom, free markets, and the unalienable right to life and liberty, or whether we will leave them a country that's fundamentally transformed into something else. We stand at a crossroads, America.
We do.
President Trump has set our nation on a path of freedom and opportunity. Joe Biden would set America on a path of socialism and decline. Yeah. But we're not going to let it happen. President Donald Trump believes in America and in the goodness of the American people. The boundless potential of every American to live out their dreams in freedom.
Yeah, if you guys can share those posts, see if we can get some activity here.
I already did.
Yeah, I just did
too.
too.
Has been fighting to expand the reach of the American dream every day. President Donald Trump has been fighting for you. And now it's our turn to fight for him.
Hey, you guys finally got your 4 more years chant tonight.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time. Been a little bit low.
Deeply grateful for the privilege of serving as vice president of this great nation and to have the opportunity to serve. I pray to be worthy of it, and I will give that duty all the same. In the year 2020, the American people have had more than our share of challenges. But thankfully, we have a president with the toughness, energy, and resolve to see us through.
Amen.
Those traits actually run in our national character. As the invading force learned on approach to this fort in September of 1840.
Yeah, that sound is a little low tonight. It's maxed on the player.
Our young country was
It wasn't this bad yesterday at all. Like,
Now it went low. It wasn't low earlier.
from those who are with us tonight.
Yeah,
The enemy is counting on them to quit,
what's the sound, Daniel? It,
but they never did.
No, he's just saying it's very low.
Fort McHenry Hill.
oh, he's saying it's horrible. It's a different word. So
Oh, well, so yeah, I guess I assumed he meant low.
Our flag was still here.
no, and that you have it maxed. It wasn't just like this yesterday at all.
It was okay a few moments ago.
My
Do
fellow
me a favor, refresh his video. Maybe that'll help it, Manny.
Okay, hang on.
But if you look through the fog of these challenging times,
Are you playing it through like speakers or something?
Nope.
C-SPAN, your unfiltered view of government, created by cable in 1979.
banner still waves
Sounds better.
over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That better, Daniel?
Yes.
From these hallowed grounds, American patriots and
Hey, Josh, were you saying stuff? I didn't hear you say anything yet.
Can you guys hear me? Now it's our turn.
I'm wondering. I mean, I actually hear him very softly. The president, the vice president. So, do me a favor, take off Daniel's thing. So I can. Do you have it on full blast? Are you sure?
And
Yeah.
all she represents.
Well, take off Daniel because I can't see it.
Let's fix our eyes on this land of heroes and let their courage.
It just sounds tinny to me, but otherwise okay.
And let's fix our eyes on the author and perfecter.
I think it's
That's a little better.
audio. Can we go to a different thing? Like maybe go to YouTube and watch it via YouTube?
And never
Yeah,
forget
let me take a look.
that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
Amen.
We're
That
sorry,
means-
Daniel.
Always.
We wanted to go live at exactly 10.
My fellow Americans, thank you for the honor of addressing you tonight. The opportunity to run.
I
and serve
appreciate
again as your vice
the
president.
voters for Trump. Every weekend,
here
I
today
see
in
it. Not even weekend.
And
What-
principled
what-
Republican leaders across the land more convinced than ever
Needs.
that we will do in our time, as Americans have done throughout our long and
This
storied
is
history.
good.
Doesn't sound any better on my end
Our
here.
freedom and our way of life.
See, now it went loud again.
We elect our president and principled Republican leaders across the land.
Now it went.
President Donald Trump in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help.
We also have to take into consideration that we are dealing with liberal elements that are giving us the signal. And they're also in red, white, and blue. Now she's got a future.
Hi, Myra.
Hello. This sponsor dress is so pretty.
Fuchsia.
It's pretty one.
It's not. It's more what I expected from her from last night. Actually. Did you ever get? I didn't see anything online and any explanation as to the color reason for last night. It's coming up now.
Our national anthem. Please welcome country music superstar Trace Atkins.
I certainly don't expect any kneeling for this.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the flag?
Oh, say
Dang.
you see by the dawn's early
Yep.
light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Notice the stars on that American flag. Those are the same amount of stars that we had during the War of 1812.
I love the people that they have there. They have, they have people, regular Americans. It's not a celebrity event.
Yeah,
an
they're not
American
A-listers, B-listers, or Hollywood weirdos.
Yeah,
Right.
these are real people. This is going to play well. I still think that the production value has been cleaner in that it's more homely, it's more real as opposed to last week. It wasn't clear cut, little polished stuff. The stuff you would expect from an Emmy award winning director who was in his, I guess maybe he was like in his living room or something with all his pictures in shorts. And was he even wearing socks or something? As he was producing or directing last week. DNC. You're not getting that this week. I certainly hope I don't have that. Isn't it true that President Trump had help from his RNC from some of his friends from The Apprentice?
All right, turn that down a little bit.
I think the president wants to shake their hand, but I guess because we're in coronavirus, he can't do that.
Right.
Or liberal heads explode because he wants to shake the hands of the veterans who served our country.
But I mean, for him to come to the people, these are the people, the American people, the people that
Amen.
this is base that connects with him. This is who he speaks to. He's not speaking to the elite. He's not speaking to Hollywood. He's speaking to the working class, the people that all the policies that they decide in DC affects the most. All the tax, the policies, And this is who he decides to have there and actually approach him, him and the first lady.
And that was part of Laura Trump's speech
Oh,
in
I
reference
like
to.
Laura. Uh-huh.
Oh, she was awesome.
Laura's really good.
Well, I think it's over for tonight. I think we can start doing the recap, but hopefully we'll have more people come in on YouTube.
Yeah. I just cut this volume down so we can at least watch it while we're talking here.
Awesome. Let's
Thank
do
you.
that. Let's welcome everybody in. I'm Roman Perez. I'm going to be hosting your moderating, I guess, tonight's recap here in Real Politics on our Facebook page. And we're streaming live on our YouTube. I think Manny's going to put down in the bottom our YouTube link. We're asking those of you that are watching us on Facebook to if you have a Google account or a YouTube account, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can start getting more views there. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, something more political, something for the Valley, for South Texas that nobody else is really doing that I can tell. And I think this is something that will be beneficial to us. We have Manny. Manny is our tech guru, our CEO for Real Politics. And Manny, you want to introduce yourself, Manny?
Yeah, Manny here. Same deal. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the events today because I was doing some work, trying to listen to it. I did get to see Kaylee and Mrs. Pence, Mr. Pence. I saw Lara. But I didn't catch a whole lot of the rest. I missed Crenshaw. I wanted to see him, and I missed him.
Yeah, he was early on tonight.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching us on Facebook, please give us a thumbs up, or just Daniel, if the volume is okay for you, let us know on Facebook to make sure that the volume is back to normal. We also have Orlando Perez. He's with us today again, like from earlier today and last night. Orlando,
Thank you.
yourself real quick.
Well, I appreciate being here, and I just got in yesterday. I'm very glad that I was invited to participate. I'm a conservative. I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I'm a firearms instructor and a professional dancer.
Oh, great. I'm assuming a Second Amendment supporter and activist. We also have Quintana down here, right underneath me, Cruz Quintana Jr. from Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County GOP. Cruz?
Hey, how you doing, folks? Thanks for inviting me. I am from Hidalgo County. I am a precinct chair, precinct 39, which is the San Juan area. Good to be with you tonight.
Yeah. And a member, obviously, of the Hidalgo County Republican Party Executive Committee, and a longtime member of that, and a longtime donor and activist, and all-around good guy. And underneath him is the great Myra. Myra, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm from Hidalgo County as well. I am the South Texas Regional Director for Latinos for Trump. I'm also involved with the Hidalgo GOP and a little bit with the Young Republicans. I try to do community engagement and help out wherever I can and wherever I'm needed within the county, a neighboring county, the state, or out of state, anywhere I'm needed.
Awesome. And we should be getting Josh Peltier in and out. He might be having some technical difficulties, but
Josh bowed out. He says he was having too many issues, and he was going to try to figure them out tonight.
Awesome, great. Well, either way, you got some great local activists and local knowledgeable people about the conservative movement in the Valley. And those of you following us on Facebook or YouTube, please make comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to be active. I'll try to recognize them as much as possible. Because we want to engage you all. We don't want to keep you up too late. We'll be up here maybe 30 minutes, maybe do some highlights. Manny's going to get some of the better highlights from the King Trump War Room Twitter account that has a lot of great videos from tonight, the good hard-hitting stuff. I just want to get into it. Earlier today, we had a pregame, pre-show with Jessica Puente Bradshaw. She was organizing it, and she was the moderator for it. And we played a video. She played a video from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that video had a little bit of violence. And that violence is caused by Biden voters. And what does Facebook do to our feed? Manny, what did they do to us? because
They
of the,
blocked it with a little message, click here if you want to watch it.
yeah.
And they didn't just do that. They didn't just do that to the video. They did that to our whole stream.
Yeah.
Of course.
So every single stream, including this stream, right? Or
No, not this stream.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, typical, liberal Facebook doing it. I know. As soon as that thing was playing, I was like, don't play this, like, don't play this blood stuff. But I told you to stop it because that was going to happen. I was right. Why am I always right? Because I know these liberals pretty darn well. I kind of know them. I don't know why I know them so well, because they're typical liberals and they don't want you to see stuff like that. Granted, it does have violence. I'm not going to disagree. It doesn't. But for Facebook to do a stream about previewing the Republican National Committee, a politics show, they want us. No, you can't see it. Why? Because it's violent. Hey, Zach Cantu.
Zach.
Yeah.
Cantu, my buddy.
Zach.
KURV. Yeah, Zach, we're gonna have you on the show at some point, buddy, because we want your commentary. And if you want to, yeah, Cruz. All right, Zach. If you want to ever come on now, Manny can text you the wonderful, awesome. Yeah, take off the YouTube thing. Take off the YouTube thing, please.
Yeah.
Manny, take it off. All right, because I don't want to go next. It already ended. You want to come on the show, Zach? Manny will text you the StreamYard link, and you can come on if you want. Yeah, so that's Facebook for y'all. So they don't want you to know anything about the Republican Party. They know that the Republican National Convention is going really, really well, and that's what they did to our small but chugging along little video stream. What do y'all think about that? Facebook.
It's not only that about the Republican National RNC that they blocked it out, but it kind of messes with their agenda about the leftists being the violent ones, about them creating all this riots, all this terrorism. So that's what these videos are showing. It's showing them for what they are. So that's why they're blacking out. That's what happened to me when I went to DC on 4th of July. I posted when we got attacked by Black Lives Matters, and they banned me from Facebook because we were showing them for what they were. They are the aggressors. They are the attackers.
They're the true censors of this world. And, all right, no worries, Zach, no worries, anytime, buddy. What I've argued before, and this might be little theoretical political ideology, political philosophy, I guess, that the Facebook world, the Twitterverse, social media themselves are their own little countries, their own little governments with their own ideas. Their terms of service is their social contract. And so, they are censoring because they are a quasi sort of government. And this social contract, we want to get in to be able to voice ourselves in the marketplace of ideas, because this is still the marketplace of ideas. And you can say, only government can censor. Well, I argue that in a way, Facebook is a government. Facebook is, we have this idea of, we come together, we make arguments, whatever wins out, but they want to censor, they want to shut us out. MSNBC did the same thing tonight. MSNBC did not run the sister from our little sisters. What was I didn't catch her name, Manny. Maybe you could pull up a little bit. I really want a little bit of that video. MSNBC didn't play it. Why don't they want to play it? Because they don't want you to know what a sister believes about the pro-life movement. They know what happened last night with Abby Johnson's speech about the pro-life. They did not want to see a religious woman publicly endorse
The sister of the Sacred Heart.
Yeah. So what do y'all think about that? The censoring, Facebook censoring us. They didn't censor us. We can still watch the video, but you have to no, we're violent, or yes, there's a violent little thing.
Deidre Byrne?
Yeah. Think about that.
I said it that as soon as closer we get to the election, all this censorship is going to get worse and worse and worse, and that is exactly what is happening. The censorships. I mean, a lot of people are getting purged. There's a lot of purge for a lot of groups, a lot of patriot groups. They also, took out some Antifa members, but I think that was just an excuse to get a lot of the AP3, a lot of the Proud Boys, and all these people, standing up for our country. So as closer we get to election day, it's going to start getting worse, all this censorship.
Yeah, what do you think? Were those token bans? Cruz, what do you think? Were those token bans from the social media world?
It's hard to tell whether they were bot or somebody actually looked at the videos. Their AI is actually getting pretty good. And since that video is pretty much the same across the board, it's possible that an AI just got it and labeled it, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Facebook, for giving us a talking point and proving once again that you are what you are. But it's okay. We're still here. We're going to talk about tonight's the third night of the Republican National Convention. Talking point. Okay. Give us what you think, Cruz, about tonight. What was your highlight for tonight? And was it great?
Well, I can probably tell you about my top 3 favorite speakers tonight. The first one was Jack Brewer, the NFL, the retired NFL player, and Burgess Owens, also heartfelt, and Richard Grinnell. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I've always liked his spunk, and those are my top 3.
Awesome. I mean, do you get an A, a B, or C overnight tonight compared, or you don't want to grade it?
I really didn't grade it.
All right, cool. All right.
Jack Brewer for calling out the Democrats the most.
Yeah. Orlando, por favor. What do you think?
Well, for me, press secretary, I'm not sure who's going to be 1, 2, or 3, but the press secretary, Madison Cawthorn, for the guy running for Congress. I also have Laura Trump, Vice President Mike Pence. There was so many different people that the acting director of the National Intelligence, he disclosed so many things that while he was in office, that he personally saw, that we know that are facts, but he was in there watching, and he knows that these things were real that are being exposed now. I mean, just so much information today. As I said, all of these sheets, I was going to start a third sheet, and I stopped taking notes because I finally said enough is enough. There was so much information tonight and so many great speakers that I cannot say who's 1, 2, or 3, but I really don't have a bad one as we did last night. I think everyone tonight was important. Everyone tonight was strong. But there's one thing that I was telling Manny at the very beginning, and I don't know if we mentioned it yesterday. There's one thing important about our convention. It is loaded with flags. It is an amazing production. Every time a speaker goes off camera, you can see the cameras going into this majestic wall or the ocean or the fort or the flag. I mean, the movement, the production of it, and surrounded by so many flags. So amazing comparing our convention to the Democrat, whatever that was, which had no American flags because they're not Americans.
Myra?
Favorite speakers? Sorry, I got kicked out.
Okay, yeah, pretty much.
My favorite speaker had to be Mike Pence. I think he had a lot of substance in his speech. He had a lot of he talked a lot about the rioters, what's going on in America right now, what needs to be dealt with, what the communist Democrats are avoiding. What they avoided in their convention was speaking about all the violence and the terrorism that they're causing. So my favorite tonight was Mike Pence, and I also like the Lara Trump. She's always really good. She's always very well spoken. And then since I'm a Catholic, I do know that a lot of Catholics vote for Democrats. And I did join the pro-life walk. And one of the things is, vote your values, vote for those that are gonna save the babies. And I think her testimony religiously was very powerful to me.
Well, I was struck by Dan Crenshaw's speech.
Yes.
It was before the 8 o'clock hour. Central time, but it was before the 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast. I'm not sure how many people really saw that speech, but I thought it was well crafted. It was well delivered. It's what you expect from a veteran like him. He isn't always my favorite conservative. because he does have some positions that not every conservative likes. But then again, that's what it is. We have a big tent under the conservative movement. But I was taken aback by how great it was. It really set the tone for tonight's theme. The first night of the convention, we had the land of opportunity. Tonight we have the land of heroes. And I think that these particular, the land of, the home of the brave, really speaks to the whole tone of the convention. What I'm taken aback by is mainstream media claiming that it's been a mismatch of the convention, like it's going nowhere. There's no real unity to it. But in actuality, that's pretty much all conventions. When you watch it, they go from one item to another to another. It's going to be every convention. But at the end of the day, today was the land of the heroes, and that's why I like Dan Crenshaw's speech. The target of women today, talking about women heroes and talking about Susan B. Anthony and that Laura Trump was the one who did the audio for that video that was done around the 8 o'clock hour. And then you had Laura come back and talk about it again. I thought that was great. Hopefully talking to women, because people claim that there's suburban women out there that do not want to vote for President Trump, but then they're center right. So they're kind of looking for an excuse to really want to vote for him, to support him. And I feel like they're there. I think that the Republican National Convention has given them a reason to vote for President Trump. Now, it could all change tomorrow night with tomorrow night's President Trump speech. But for me, those were the memorable things for me. That's just me. I really want to go into Vice President Pence's speech. I know, Myra, you really liked it. What specifically did you like about his speech? Is there anything that made you say, this is why I like it?
My main reason that I like it when they start calling out the left for what there is, the attacks that are going out, how they're trying to destroy America, and they are silent about it. They are not denouncing all this violence, the left. And that to me right now is very powerful, because I do have friends that are combating in Portland. I've gone to Portland, I've gone to Seattle, that are there in the front lines, and nobody has really said much about it. And for the vice president and the president to finally start speaking out about it, it's very empowering for me and for those people that are out there.
Cruz, one of the big quotes that Pence had tonight, there were two quotes for me. One of them is, this election is about America becoming America. And then Vice President Pence going back and saying, look, last week, we had Joe Biden saying that there are no more miracles. And I guess it took him a whole week, but Vice President Pence came back with his line of saying that America is a nation of miracles. For me, those were the two big lines of the week. I don't know how that line is going to work. That second one is because to me, that was the big, you need to answer what he said, the no more miracles. Do you think that works? What do you think about, is this election about America staying America or being America?
I actually agree with everything you just said. As far as it seems as though, and maybe it's just me, it seems as though that President Pence is becoming a little bolder by calling the Democrats out, by calling Biden out. I like that. I think that the Patriots like that. So I think that it's a good thing that that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Do you usually the vice president's keynote speech, whoever the vice president nominee, right, whether he's the vice president, incoming vice president, the incumbent vice president, or whether he's a Republican vice presidential nominee, they go after the main guy, the main person on the ticket. Do you believe that this speech attacked Joe Biden enough? Cruz.
For Pence, yes, I think it was spot on as far as Pence is concerned. Usually, actually, the vice president is the attack dog, and
right.
the president is above the fray. But this is a unique situation that Trump is really the attack dog. Pence is the calming, nurturing type. So I think it's a good place for him.
Yeah. Orlando, do you think he attacked him enough, or did you want more? Do you want less from Vice President Pence tonight?
I think Pence was very detailed. He went into a lot of things, but I truly believe and understand that almost anything that we tell Biden, Sleepy Joe, at the moment, unless somebody puts it on a piece of paper, he's not going to be able to reply back because he can't put together 3 or 4 words of anything to make any sense. So we can throw the book at him, and the book is full of sense and full of fact checking because everything we're throwing at him is a fact. But will he fight back or answer back? No, because he's not capable of.
Myra, your takeaway. Did he attack Joe Biden enough?
I think he did. I mean, I wouldn't mind if he would have done it more, but he did go after him, a fair amount of time. So yeah, I think he did his fair share of attacking Biden, and not only him, but the Democrats as well as Harris. He also mentioned Kamala Harris.
Well, Kamala, the Kamala Harris's people, the Democrats believe that Kamala is going to be able to take down Vice President Trump in their debate if and when they have the debate. And I say if and when because you never know what the Democrats are going to do. They might feel that we don't want to have any debates whatsoever because of coronavirus and use that as an excuse. Do you think Vice President Trump can handle Kamala Harris after what you saw tonight and after what you've seen the last 3.5 years as Vice President?
Pence. You said Trump. Pence.
Oh, Pence. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Pence, Myra, or Cruz?
Go ahead, Cruz.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I think he will. He will be able to handle Kamala Harris. Kamala doesn't have a lot of facts. She's very she's very wishy-washy when she talks. So I think Pence is more of a man of substance, and I think he would be able to handle Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Cruz or Orlando, either one?
I think the education level in Mike Pence is much, and not to come out as a racist or anything, but Mike Pence's education level, from what I'm learned about him tonight, from what his wife said, and then from him speaking, he is so much more educated than Miss Harris is. I'm sorry. I know how she got to where she is and everything else, but she was always just an attack dog. Even when she was in office, she hated Mexicans and hated blacks, and all she could do was just put them in jail. But Mike Pence is a calm guy, but he's a very aggressive, calm guy, but he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah. Cruz?
The strategy is, I don't know if they're trying to thread a needle, but everybody knows that Biden is just there for a little bit, and perhaps she is really the real person that they want as president. So the strategy would be to go after her, knowing that Biden is only temporary.
Correct.
Perhaps that will show up tomorrow, but it seems like that's lacking a little bit.
This was a question that Vice President Pence asked, and I have the quote here, and this is going to be a question for Middle America because I firmly believe that Vice President Joe Biden, former Vice President Joe Biden, did not receive the bounce that he expected to get after his Zoom talk convention, and I firmly believe that President Trump over the first 3 nights should get a bounce. He might falter tomorrow. We just never know, but he's as our friend Erasmo Castro said a couple nights ago, last night, pretty good at reading the teleprompter, so expect good things from him last night, I guess. But this was the question, and put yourself, all of y'all, in the shoes of a middle America, middle of the road, center-right independent voter, or even a center-right Democrat voter. On November 3rd, ask yourself, who do you trust to rebuild this economy? A career politician who presided over the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression, or a proven leader who created the greatest economy in the world? Will it be the economy stupid? Will that be the way people will vote on November 3rd? That's ultimately the question. Will it be the economy stupid? Cruz, please.
I'm kind of on the fence on that. I know that Wall Street is really taking off, but there is what's the opposite of a silver lining? A black cloud, I suppose. It's actually taking off too hot. For example, lumber's in short supply.
Hold on, Cruz. Vanny, get me that particular one as well. The Eddie de los Santos talked about the mother talking about her special needs child. If you can get that video, that'd be great. All right, Cruz, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that we give Eddie an opportunity to get what he wants to see.
Sure. The stock market has taken off because there's a lot of building, there's a higher employment, everything's looking good. But in that process, it might be a little bit too hot. It's causing lumber shortages, which means that lumber is actually going up. Lumber is a commodity. So I know it's a hard target to hit, but is there such a thing as too hot?
Yeah. Orlando, Vice President Pence talked about 9.3 million jobs already coming back. Is that going to be enough for voters to say, we want to go back with Trump because it is the economy stupid? And I'm using it's the economy stupid. That is a famous line from James, the Raging Cajun Carville from the 1992 election and team for Bill Clinton. Do you think that's going to be enough? 9.3 million jobs coming back?
Well, here's the thing. If we are still partially in some kind of a lockdown, and as we are in Hidalgo County, lockdown, and if the country, each and every time the report comes out, we have less unemployment and we have job increasing and the stock market keeps going up, what does that mean? What was going on until mid-February? Our economy was going up and up and up and up and up. What is it doing again right now? It's going up. It's not going to fly straight up like a rocket, but it's going to go straight in an angle up as it did before, and we're still in a lockdown. The country's partially in lockdown, and many of the liberal and like us here, and we are still getting it back together. Imagine when the only thing that's going to happen here is that the virus is going to disappear. November 3rd or November 4th. Then there'll be something new. But the economy is already going uphill. What does that mean? It tells me something is coming back to what it used to be. I am for it. I don't want a new agenda. I want to get back to where we were on the track we were January and February.
Yeah, Myra, you to hit a point on Orlando. It is going to. We're getting our job back where the economy is coming back. Vice President Pence announced today that his wife is going to be going back and being a school teacher, and the schools are going to open up. Do you think that could fall flat if something happens to the vice president's wife, gets sick with coronavirus, or what happens to the kids? Will that help or hurt President Trump and his re-election chances?
Well, I mean, if it's gonna hurt him, they are gonna talk about it regardless, whether she gets sick or not, whether he opens it or whoever gets sick. But I think that is something that needs to be done, the opening of the school, and for his wife to actually be one of the ones, going back to school and teaching. I mean, that just shows the confidence that they have in our, in how it's getting better, the whole situation. I do believe that the more we expose our immune system, the better it gets. So that's something that we need to start doing, gradually, I guess. Start opening our schools and our economy. That needs to be done already.
We're having another night of violence again in Kenosha. You have people from former Vice President Joe Biden's team and his teammates in the mainstream media saying, "Oh, Vice President Pence has denounced violence in the George Floyd stuff. He's denounced the protesting that's rioting." Do you really believe, Myra, that they've denounced the violence enough? Myra, I mean, you've seen the violence.
The Democrats? You're talking about the Democrats?
Yeah, that's what they're claiming tonight. They're claiming, we've said the violence is bad from the very beginning. We've done it consistently. No.
They haven't done it from the beginning. They haven't done it consistently. That is something that they kind of shied away from doing it. They went to the streets and started protesting with a lot of the rioters, a lot of the people that have been created the riots, that have been terrorizing the communities. So no, they haven't done enough. And even now, it's a little bit. I don't want to say it's a little bit too late, but it kind of is because it's escalated to what we have right now. And I mean, look at Portland and Seattle. What was it in Seattle? The summer of love, the summer, that's how they call
Exactly.
it, in the anonymous zone. And
Yeah.
they were treating it as, they're just kids being kids. But there was a lot of people that were shot in that anonymous zone in their summer of love. So no, they haven't denounced it enough, and they didn't do it fast enough. If they are doing it now, I don't know if they can actually redeem themselves from this.
Yeah. All these, Del Sol is talking about major rioting right now in Minneapolis tonight. By the way, I love your emoji, Butters. Great emoji.
I know.
Not emoji, Facebook profile picture. Sorry. I think it's the more that they be rioting, the more you get the NFL players and the sports athletes kneeling and taking their ball and going home. All this plays to President Trump. I believe this. I really, I believe this. Do you all believe this too, Cruz? I mean, do you believe that this is what we didn't have you on earlier when we were talking about the sports guys, kneeling? You had two former NFL players coming on talking about what they talked about tonight. Give me a recap of what happened tonight with those NFL players, and do you think that's going to play well with, again, Middle America? Middle America is who we need to be talking about. We know the conservatives, with the exception of the Never Trumpers, are gonna vote for sure. Oh, Daniel! Hey, Daniel! I didn't know it was you, Daniel. Do you think it's gonna work?
I think so. Again, the target was the Black community, the Middle America, and I think that's all it takes, really. Somebody to show them who they are, where they come from, and where they should be.
Yeah. Well, I asked Manny to queue up something from Jack Brewer, because apparently Jack Brewer is being attacked by CNN because anytime somebody attacks the media wants to attack back. If you can if it's less than a minute, Manny, can you play that video for us?
It's misrepresentation, and it's people that are uneducated on the
Going
facts.
right
So
up. Keeps wanting to auto start. I got it right here.
Yeah, we got to get rid of that auto start stuff. Okay, go into your settings. All right, ready? Sorry, I should have told you on the private chat. Play this guy.
All right. You got it up there now.
Laura, it's misrepresentation, and it's people that are uneducated on the facts. And so, the reason I said what I said was to stir the pot and expose the evilness that is really going on. I mean, for folks to really deny the fact that Donald Trump has helped Black people as much as he has, the policies, Laura. I mean, the man gave HBCUs long-term funding when the administrations before him would never do that. They made these Black schools continue to come back and beg for money. I mean, they've criminal justice reform. You look at criminal justice reform, Laura, and you say the Obama administration sat there with Joe Biden, who actually wrote the crime bill that locked up and mass incarcerated millions of Black men, taking the fathers out of our homes. How can that not upset Black America when President Obama sits in office for 8 years and doesn't release these folks? Why does Donald Trump have to give Alice Johnson clemency? I mean, these things go on and on again, and you can't argue the facts. And the facts are that Donald Trump has passed more policies for Black folks than any president since Lincoln.
The autoplay thingy. It's going to go to something else. Close it out. Jack Brewer, he spoke tonight, didn't he? Wasn't he one of the NFL players that spoke tonight?
Yes. And one quick note on that. He's on Laura's show and on his speech tonight. He brought up the Black family and how the Black family is being destroyed by the Democrats. And I can remember Obama in a couple of his speeches bringing up the Black family and fatherless homes as being the number one reason of Black families having issues, financial, emotional, etc. And I believe he only said it 2 times in his entire in public because they quickly shut him up. They told him, that's our constituency. You don't talk about the distressed and destroyed Black fatherless family.
What do you think about Jack Brewer tonight? That by the way, that video is from March when he was apparently called an Uncle Tom, which is a really nasty thing to say about somebody who's an African American. To call somebody that horrible term is horrible. So it's horrible about. He spoke tonight at the RNC, but that's where that video comes from. But I was hoping we'd get a little bit from tonight from the RNC. But what do you think of his speech tonight, and will that help? Trump with the Black American vote. Myra.
I do think it will help him. I mean, he had a lot of good points in his speech. Trying to remember what he said because I did take a picture because I wanted to talk about him. But he showed his support for President Trump, and this is not the first time he shows his support. And he puts out what all the MSM is saying about him being a racist, him not caring about people, and it's all the same thing that they say. But this is an actual man that has been with the president, and he knows him for who he is, and his heart is. So I do think that he will help President Trump, along with all the other Black Voices for America, Blexit. There's a lot of movements that are behind President Trump from the Black community.
Josh, can you put that line up that Josh Trump has passed more policies to help Black Americans since Lincoln is the line that Jack Brewer did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that, Cruz? Do you believe that? Do you believe that line?
The one thing that touched me about Jack Brewer was the fact that he said that his 8-year-old son told him before he left, he said, "Dad, remind the people that it's about all lives matter." An 8-year-old boy told his daddy, "Remind the people that it is about all lives matter." Yeah. That is important from an 8-year-old who is African American, who is probably listening to the kids down the street and everything else, and everybody says Black Lives Matter, and this 8-year-old told his daddy all lives matter. To me, that was important.
Yeah, Cruz, your takeaway from Jack Brewer's speech tonight.
I'm glad that he hit all the points. He did say Trump is not racist. That's believable. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. All lives need to matter. That's on point. School choice. He brought up school choice. He brought up Make America Great Again. That's not a bad thing. And he called out Biden and Kamala as the people that lock up Black people the most, or did.
At the end of the day, I firmly believe that the Trump campaign, their internals are telling them that the Black community is potentially they don't need to get every Black vote in order to win this thing, especially in the battleground states. They need to get a certain percentage, and they can get that percentage. They can hit those talking points. They might be able to get enough votes to be able to win. And I think they see something. And there's a reason why night 1, night 2, night 3 again has African Americans speaking in prominent positions, speaking in prominent roles in prime time, giving those great stories that they believe something. That is what the first 3 nights is telling me. Again, additionally, I think that Trump really believes this. He believes he's not a racist, and he's personally taking it personal. Because to call somebody a racist is a horrible thing in this country. Whether you just don't do that. And he believes that he's not a racist. These people know him better than a lot of us probably know him, and if they don't believe he's a racist, he's not a racist. Herschel Walker's speech in the first night still gets to me. It says he says, "How could I be friends with a racist for 37 years and not know it?" That's crazy. I'm really amazed at what the production has done the last 3 nights. I really am. I think we've been going on a little bit long. I don't want to get too long. So, what do you want from tomorrow, guys? After we've already had night 3, what do you all want tomorrow? I mean, we know that the mainstream media is going to go crazy once again, be angry once again. Tonight we had Amanda Carpenter from CNN, the former Ted Cruz communications director, talk about that the RNC is being steamrolled by what Tucker Carlson said about a 17-year-old boy on his show tonight. Yeah, I agree, Eddie. I agree with you. The RNC should not forget about the Hispanic vote, and I will say that I feel like the RNC, that's one place that they haven't gone after enough in this convention. I feel it's a little bit lacking for whatever reason. It's lacking. But what do you all? So what do you all want tomorrow? As before you watch it, what do you want? Not from the red meat sort of thing. What you want that will help President Trump get reelected? Orlando, and then we'll go to Cruz and then Myra.
You know what I would like to see tomorrow is Straka from the walkaway, because he's got 1 million plus followers that are true walkaways. And if you read and listen to their video stories, when Straka goes somewhere, he is hated because he stands for his beliefs. Whether he is a gay man or not, he stands firm on his beliefs, and he has a very powerful movement. I would like to see him tomorrow, and he would be a great asset because Latinos are listening. The blacks are walking away. They know that the plantation is truly the Democrat Party. The blacks are seeing that. The Latinos have seen it. The LGBT community sees it. But Straka would make a big hit if he shows up tomorrow.
Cruz.
I agree with that, but there is an elephant in the room, pardon the pun, and that's Laura. There's some word from the White House that there may be a postponement of tomorrow night's at least Trump speech because of the hurricane and the devastation that it's going to do. So,
that Laura.
That Laura. Okay.
You were thinking Laura Trump.
I was thinking Laura Trump too.
Yeah.
With hurricane Laura. So they have to tread lightly. And one of the things that I think was missing tonight was a little bit more mention of that possible catastrophe that's about to occur or is occurring now as we speak.
I think it goes in by 2 a.m. or so.
Yeah, and you know what, Cruz, I agree with you on that. I really do. And because this happened in 2008 with Hurricane Gustav doing essentially the same thing that this particular storm is doing to the Gulf Coast. It ruined the first night of the 2008 election, Republican National Convention for McCain. And it really messed up his momentum. And I think it really hurt him. It wasn't that, not only that, but then he had the double whammy in 2008 of the economy, tanking, and then him suspending his campaign. I hopefully the Republicans have learned their lesson from 2008. And if Hurricane Laura does cause a postponement of President Trump's speech, guess what? I think it helps him. I think the first 3 nights have been so successful that him not speaking might actually be a good thing. And I'm speaking this as somebody I try to play it, middle of the road. I try to be fair to both sides as much as I possibly can. You all know that I did not vote for President Trump. And so I'm trying to put I was a never Trumper in 2016, up until the 2016, and then I'm now no longer. That's the type of never Trumper I was. None of these never Trumpers that never Trumper forever. 2016, I'm done. I want a conservative president. What this might help him not speaking, him deciding, I'm going to put the people of Louisiana and the people of Texas in mind and not, do a political speech tonight, and maybe not even have to do it. What do you think, Myra? You're a Latino for Trump person.
I think that I'm going to disagree with you because I think that when he speaks, he gets such a good response and such a good following. I believe that he has grown so much from when he first started in 2016. I have people that have been never Trumpers that now say they've heard his speeches and now they're voting for Trump because they hear him and he is, everything that he says is what they want to hear, is what makes sense. So I believe that he does need to speak and, kind of keep it, like what Cruz said, keep the people in Louisiana and Houston in mind. But I do believe that he needs to address the nation and accept the, the nomination at the end of the RNC and close it out.
Yeah. We don't want a hanging convention like we had in the Texas Republican convention
Oh,
that
we don't want a convention like the one we had here at all, anywhere. Nobody would do that.
Oh,
No,
deserves that.
what a disaster. Even before the convention, it was a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, what are the possibilities of? I mean, this thing's gonna hit tonight, overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be after midnight in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, if it's really bad, they might just say, you know what, we're not doing this thing tonight.
And look where it's going to go. I mean, it's going to go to Louisiana, up to pretty much the right side or the east side of the Sabine River, go up north, go into Arkansas, and then sweep into a little bit southern part of Missouri, and then move off into, I don't know, the Midwest. It's going to go quick. It's not going to be one of these slow-moving storms, which is good, but it's going to go strong, quick, powerful. It could cause a lot of devastation. Again, Cruz, you're the one who talked about the Laura. You're right. Again, they should have mentioned it. Our prayers are with those people.
Mike Pence said that. He talked about.
I missed it. Orlando, Cruz.
There we got Eddie.
I'd like to say one thing that I'd like to say one thing that I took note of earlier. I also saw a very touching, the brief statement about the Chinese activist. I believe that his blindness was part of his torture.
Eddie, what message do you think Republicans need to push with Latinos? That's something I said, earlier. I think we needed to have a little bit more of it. You have the perfect person right here on our show, Myra, Latinos for Trump. Answer this question for him, and then I think we'll get ready for to close it out.
I think the message that needs to be carried from President Trump, they do need to address the Hispanic community and show the values that we have, like Josh is saying right here. Our pro-life, how we were brought up, the importance of work. We were brought up with a very strong work ethic, and how he has done so much better for our economy, for the jobs of Hispanics. The unemployment was at a record low in September before all this, coronavirus started for Hispanics. There has been more business owners in the Hispanic community, even amongst women. We're at an all-time high. So I think they need to focus on all the things that he has done positive for the Hispanic community, because he has done. And even prison reform helps the Hispanic community, because we all know that, unfortunately, especially down here in the Valley, there's a lot of people that do go to prison for minor things. But I think he does need to touch on that, on the Hispanic community, the values, the economy, what he has done, and what he's done with Goya, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. The entrepreneur mentorship that he has going on, that he just signed. I think it was last month. So
Eddie says since that generally is the message, why doesn't it turn out more Latino votes? I'll answer that question. Part of it is there is somewhat of a generational divide happening. It's happening at the Democratic Party. It's happening, generally speaking, with the Latino community as well. The younger Hispanic community tends to be more liberal. They're not as pro-family as the older generation is. This has been happening. I teach this stuff, okay? I teach this stuff because I'm a historian, okay? So I'm not just talking out of mind. You know what? They're having this problem. You had this in the senatorial district 27 race in the Democrat primary. You had a very traditional conservative Democrat like Eddie Lucio Jr. going up against a Sarah Stapleton Barrera, who is very much a progressive liberal. And she's not Hispanic. She's white, and she has a Hispanic last name because she's married. But that's beside the point. It was a very close race, in the runoff. And why? Because the younger generation is more liberal. Why? They're less pro-family. They're more assimilated potentially. They could have the possibility that they're being indoctrinated by our public education system. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow, and that's a great lead-in for tomorrow's show. Our plan is for 6:30. I think Manny. I think Jessica wants to start at 6:30 tomorrow.
Yep.
We're going to
I
pregame.
just want to touch something to what Eddie said. What the Democrats do is a lot of grassroots movements, and that is what the Republicans are lacking. We don't go to the colonias, to the lower community, and we need to do that and educate on our values. And that is something that Alan West, our new GOP leader, has been telling us that the Democrat Party wants to do with the Hispanic as they did with the blacks. They want to keep them down. So I think we need to reach out more to the as a grassroots movement. And that is one thing that we're doing with the RV tour and going into the rural areas and, and the, like Midland, Odessa, we went to Alice, to Kingsville. We're going to a lot of places to try to get the rural area and have the Hispanic community engage with us.
Yeah, and I think that really is important, hugely important. And so tomorrow, I think that the plan is for 6:30. Jessica Puente Bradshaw, the great Jessica Puente Bradshaw, is going to be doing the pregame. She's going to have video clips, like we've been doing. And once the RNC is over on Friday, our plan is also to do another recap show in the evening, led by Jessica and myself. And obviously we'll have Cruz and Orlando and Myra and anybody else who wants to join us because this is important. And as we move along, this is going to be, I'm hoping Real Politics will be your stop for a lot of the politics that's going to happen. We are not just going to be talking about President Trump. We're going to be talking about small races, school board races, because all politics is local. We'll be talking about the senatorial District 27 race, congressional races, all up until the election. We hope that you will join us. We will be doing, it'll not just be about podcasts. We'll also have, our website should be going by this weekend where we are going to be having articles. Hopefully Myra will be able to write for us. We're going to be doing a lot of good writing and blogging. You don't have to depend on the liberal blogs that exist in the Valley. You can depend on Real Politics blog to give you to borrow Fox News's phrase, a fair look at what the conservative movement is here in the Rio Grande Valley. You're gonna like it. I really believe in this thing, and I think Cruz and Orlando and Myra and Manny believe in it too. That's why they're here. They're not going to be here at 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday night if they didn't believe in this. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Myra, Orlando, Cruz, for doing this and helping us out and joining the cause. And get with Manny because we need to get you your email addresses. We need to get your credentials ready so we can start blogging and having some fun, hopefully on this website, and share it with the RGV Deplorables page, the Cameron County Republican page, and your Latinos for Trump, because this is going to help out. Okay, God bless you all. Manny, thanks. So see you all tomorrow at 6:30 on the dot. 6:30. God bless you all. Good night.
God bless you.